if you achieve and you calculate correctly, you can have some incredible results. But it's very easy to miscalculate and fall down the other side of that slippery slope and have very poor performances.
You need structure, you need discipline, and you need to love what you're doing, otherwise it wouldn't work.
If you have a bad day, then that's the moment when you really lose the race. And if you have a good day and if you are in the right mindset, that's where you could win the race.
Race day training, it all takes a lot of mental energy, and I do think the mentality is the biggest part of triathlon. I mean, physically, your body is a machine. You can make the body do things it doesn't want to do if you truly believe it can. And the key is if you truly believe it.
Some people just have it and could going in this situation, could keep going in this situation. And I will always try to look forward to this situation where it really matters, you know, where you really can push and show that you are strong and that your will is strong. And that's just something you have to keep in mind during the whole preparation and everything, that of course you prepare for the 7.5 hours before this point. But at the end, it's this point where it really matters to push. That's always also the best situation. That's where when you really wear down with your body and everything, and when you're really getting tired, and that's where what keeps you smiling at the finish, that you done it and that you pushed through it, even if it was very hard. I mean, that's what it's all about in long course racing. And then it doesn't matter if you are like first place or 8th place, because sometimes if somebody is stronger, you couldn't influence the performance of your opponent.
The worst enemy in the mind while racing is when you come to a certain point where you struggle a lot physically, and one part of the mind tells you that you have done enough and you don't have to push it that much, or I mean, you start to compromise. A part of your mind starts to compromise, try to do compromises so you don't have to push it that hard at the very end. And that's the thing you have to overcome, not to go down, not to slow down.
The mind was just kept telling me, stay within yourself, stay within yourself, keep the rhythm. To me, the bike, when the bike feels good, it is like music. The legs turn over, you are relaxed, you're not fighting, especially in a race that's as long as an Ironman. You put in a strong effort for no real reason, just to go faster or just because you can early in the bike, you will pay for it 10 times more in the run. And my goal was the whole time, stay relaxed, keep your focus, and just focus on your form. Because if you focus on the miles or every little detail, and you become infatuated with them. And just to try to keep just a blank mind of keeping good arrow position and good cadence, and just keep the day rolling positively.
I think to really train these moments where, you know, where it really where the race is deciding, and when you are so tired, to how will you react in your mind and everything. That's very difficult to train, but of course I try to imagine how I feel in this moment and what I try to think, or if any bad thoughts occur. It's like taping a video, you know, with some good memories and with some good images.
That's the point where you really need to use all your tricks you have to push your pace, to keep the intensity all the way to the finish line. I think that is where that's where the big difference is, where you're going to finish, if you're going to finish in top, or if maybe not even finish at all. So usually I focus on different things about my technique. Maybe, for example, the frequency of my steps when running, or I can maybe sometimes I focus on different things during the last 10Ks. But mentally, I also try to dedicate the last part of my marathon to someone else, or something that is bigger than myself. So I feel that I'm not doing it for myself. I'm doing it for something or someone else, and that's why I cannot, definitely not quit. To win for me is obviously to be the first female crossing the finish line, but an even bigger accomplishment could be victory, which is for me accomplishing something, a goal that you have set for yourself.
For nobody it's easy. For the winner, sometimes it looks easy, but it's not. They have the same problems like everybody else. When you don't want to go anymore, when your body wants to quit, and that's where the mind is really mattering. And so I think, yeah, definitely the mind is at the end is the key, because your body could do much more than you think, but only if your mind have control over your body and could tell what to do. Because and it feels very, it's a good feeling if you have a good day and you could really make your body doing things that you don't think it's possible.
The worst thing when you set a goal and you're working hard to achieve it is when something outside of your control affects the outcome. Meaning whether it be illness, injury, things like that. For example, in a race, if you're having a great race and a flat tire, you have no control. I mean, that morning, your training, everything could be going perfect, and then you get flat tire. And it's outside of your control. It's not something that you could have controlled. In that moment, you go through so many emotions. You go through the emotion of letdown. You go through the emotion of, I can still do this. You go through the motion of, why do I do this? You go through just thousands of emotions in a matter of a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I mean, and you go over and over through these actions and through these different mindsets. And it is mental maturity from experience. It is mental maturity from your training, that you train your mind to push away the negative ones and find the one or two positive ones that exist and to channel those to push you forward.
Being able to control the mind or having a strong mind is very important, if not essential. Even though a short distance as a sprint distance is called a short distance, it's still a long race and you still have to train a lot, dedicate many hours of your time in training. A long distance, it's also a really long day when you're racing, so you have to have a strong mind, because in the end of a race, I think it's more about who has the strongest mind than who has the strongest body.
No day is perfect. No day is perfect.
The mind can overcome the physical limitations to a certain point. And also you need a strong mind to be dedicated and to be focused with your training.
I just focus on the moment. And I mean, really, fear, the biggest thing I fear is not being able to do this tomorrow.
The same thing you do with your body, you know, you train your body and then you give it rest and you start to improve. It's the same thing with the mind, you know. You have to give your mind rest to become an Iron mind.
Is a person who really enjoy and have a passion for what they're doing. Someone who just loves what they do and have no intention to stop.
Stuff will go wrong and you will bend, you can twist, you can turn, and it's not ideal, but you're gonna be there at the end of the day. You're still gonna be fighting and you're still gonna be strong. So I think, ideally, if they wanted to make the hardest steel, they would have called it, or the hardest of anything, they might have called it Diamond Man. But diamonds are so hard, they're brittle and they crack. And an Iron Man, an iron mind, somebody who is made of iron, they're hard, but they don't break.